Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and that ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Karkadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth, and in sincerity, and the women and children who follow. So, I read the scripture, Revelation chapter 2, and verse 10, pertaining to concentration camps, forced lockup, really, which is definitely coming to America soon. I got this article that I'm going to reference. From Britain. And this is from today, November 7th. From RT News, it says, Britain died for me this week. It's become a COVID-obsessed police state, and I don't understand what it stands for anymore. So I'm just going to go over this, and you can see how Great Britain is, like he said, turning into a police state, and how they're slowly but surely ripping away at those civil liberties that that we were so-called promised. Yeah, here in America, but in other countries as well. So I'm kind of going to jump around. I kind of proofread it, and I'm not going to get all of it, but I'm going to get the meat off the bones for you. It says, I've always been proud to say I'm British until now. The authorities' bloody-minded determination to implement lockdown rules at the expense of the people's well-being is not what our great country should be about. And that brings me into the mindset when they say peace and safety. You know, let me see if I can get that real quick for you. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. It says, For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come up upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So that's what they use. That's what the so-called white man uses. He uses peace and safety as a cloak of maliciousness to fulfill his true intentions, which are, basically to do something nefarious and underhanded. Case in point, they're telling you that it's for your better good, it's for your safety, that we're gonna lock everything down, but really, it's to support their Illuminati New World Order agenda. Okay, because when the people are locked down, it's easier to be in control. It's easier for them to move around and set everything up for what's coming down the pipe next. Okay, so we're gonna move on. It says sometimes you can be too close. You're looking, but you don't see it. That's where I found myself this week with the current state of Britain amid another round of ever tighter restrictions caused by the pandemic. So then he just goes in about how he loves this country or whatnot. So we're gonna jump down to here. It says, but this week, some of that pride in being British died for me. It's a very different sentiment I'm feeling. Beyond disillusionment, fury even. How could Britain have fallen so far in the way it treats its own people? It says, it began with the horrifying detention of a 97-year-old grandmother by police in her Yorkshire town of Market Weighton. Her daughter, a qualified nurse, wanted to bring her home from a care home to look after her during the lockdown and quietly wheeled her out of the home. However, somewhere along the line, Jobsworth felt the need to justify their existence and reported what had happened. So that's basically like a fuck nigga, you know, somebody just basically like a bitch ass nigga reported them basically. Um, the episode ended with her granddaughter in tears filming a video showing her own mother in handcuffs inside the squad car, while the old woman sat in another car, completely bewildered. The police's response: they were responding to a report of assault. It says incredible. The horror continued as students at the University of Manchester's Fallowfield halls of residence awoke to find workers erecting fences around their facility to ensure they couldn't leave. So imagine being asleep and waking up and there's fences being built around your house or your apartment complex, or in this case, your dorm room, to keep you in. Now, how are you supposed to get supplies? And we're in a pandemic, of course, so they really don't want you to go to the store. They really don't want you to be out and about. But this is going to be above and beyond. Now you're in a concentration camp. What if you don't have anything? Which, you should have a little bit of, supplies on ready just in case. But I'm not saying, be a full prepper, but, you should have a little bit of backup supplies. But those supplies are going to run out. Who knows how long this pandemic is going to be going. I've heard of some testing for a vaccine, which I'm not saying to take the vaccine, but even that, is like a year out. So, how are they going to regulate this? Okay, it says one student said they are huge metal barriers that they're connected to one another, and there's literally no gaps. It makes us feel like we're in prison. So there's not even gaps in the fence. It's like there's nowhere to get out. I'm pretty sure they have a door. They should have a door.
Hi, Gary.
They should have a door, but who knows? It says, in what version of the United Kingdom do we keep our bright young people caged like dogs? Unsurprisingly, some of the outraged students began to rip them down, causing even more angst, and that's to be expected. And that's going to bring me to my next scripture that I wanted to get, which is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. The point really is in 17, but really 16 as well. But I'm going to start at 14. It says, woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction. Okay? Because destruction is coming to not only America, but around the world as well. Because when Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai comes back, he's coming back to take the whole planet. Not just Israel, or not just the people of Israel. The people of Israel will be the elect therein, will be ruling the entire world. So we are going to have to come back and take over this whole planet. Okay? Britain included. Okay, so it says, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. And when it says that, it's literally talking about one people fighting against another, a race war. Okay? But also, you're going to have skirmishes like this, which, you're going to have, like in this case, these students bucking up against the police who, well, I guess I will go more with the next scripture. It says, verse 16, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. That's sedition among men. That's bucking up against the government. That's really what these students are doing. It's more sedition. Okay, they're not following the course of the rules. They're not playing. Fuck you. They're not playing by the British government's games. Okay, and who can blame them? If you wake up and it's a big metal fence around your house, like what the fuck? I would probably try to knock it down too. But this is a very early case of this. Now, what you gonna do when they build that big metal fence around your area, but they're standing out there guarding it with AK-47s? Now, what you gonna do? You might go in and get your gun or whatnot. You're gonna be shot before you can even pull the trigger. As soon as you brandish it, as soon as you wave it, you might get one shot off. But as soon as that happens, you're gonna be taken down in seconds. So it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Shit, you can't. In this case, they can't leave their house. But of course, in a martial law setting, they're not gonna let you leave the city. They're gonna cut off those roads. You better know a back way out. Through a wilderness setting or something, because they're gonna build a perimeter. All right, you're not gonna just jump on I-80 and go from Omaha to on the way to Lincoln and hit the road from there. No, they're gonna block all those highways off. So it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's definitely what's coming to America, coming to this world that we live in. And with everything that's going on with the White House, with Trump and Biden so-called winning the election, and Trump not wanting to give up power, the sedition among men, I can definitely see that playing a big part in the role. Excuse me, fuck you. In the upcoming weeks, here in America, between now and I believe it's like January 16th or 9th or something like that, when Biden's supposed to be sworn in, so to speak. So just keep your head on a swivel. Be mindful of what's going on around you, because these Trump supporters, they're real, and they do have weapons, and you don't want to get caught in between that. So if you don't gotta go out, don't really go out. If you got plans or you are going out, just like I said, be vigilant, keep your head on a swivel, know your surroundings, and first off and foremost, pray the Lord keep you and protect you. And with that being said, let me see if there's anything else I want to get in this article. I am gonna place it in the description box, but yeah, let's get the other case. Okay, he says there was the Rip Gym in Harlow, Texas, and it opted out not to close in breach of the government's latest lockdown. The morality the morality of that is debatable, but the gym claims it didn't sell any long-term memberships and offered only day passes. Whatever you think of the decision what is beyond argument is that it didn't need 4 police cars and approximately 20 officers to descend in a raid-style scenario. So they raided his gym for staying open during a lockdown, basically. It says were they expecting John Gotti? Rather, it was a well-meaning business owner and some local and some locals on treadmills. The owner ended up being dragged away and was still in police custody at the time of writing. Contrast this with the most tragic occurrence, the death of Corey Liversedge. This 16-year-old from Aberdeenshire took his own life as anxiety came over him as a result of the suffocating nature of lockdown. So, guess the kid killed himself because of his anxiety, and maybe he don't like tight spaces, or you know, if that's the case, I mean, you got to be a little bit more mentally strong than that. I mean, I'm not saying that um, anxiety or depression isn't real. I've experienced that, but you know, you can't let that make you kill yourself. Damn, that's that's pretty extreme. It says his grieving parents summoned the bravery to raise awareness of his plight, with his mother saying it's not just children with diagnosed mental health conditions. It can happen to any child, and Corey was any child. So I guess she's saying that he didn't have those problems, but maybe she didn't know her son, is from what it sounds like to me. Um, but yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm gonna get. Um, with that being said, I give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Karkadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are in truth and sincerity, and the women of the church who follow. Shalom.